Today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into our next season of the show. We're not a news show, so why do we need to sit at a news desk? So we're going to be out in different cities all across the country exploring what makes this such a great place. We're going to be exploring the lifestyles, having power interviews, and just bringing a lot of great content so that people can really get something of substance from our media. To me, that's really what the American Dream is all about. The American Dream is coming at you with a whole new season and a whole new look. Let's get the show started right now.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about this show? It's totally unscripted. So you've heard my passion around the message of the American Dream, but how do you bring it to life? Well, what I did is I found the best producer with a background in real estate and lifestyle, Seth O'Byrne, to bring us the American Dream in a whole new way. Tell us what you're bringing now.
I'm hopefully bringing passion. You know, this is something we're really excited about. In America, the American Dream is not designed by your position in life, your wealth, where you're at currently. American Dream is something that someone can have when they're 8 or 80. It's starting at one point and deciding that you want something better for yourself. And so as much as the American Dream has combated negative media, we're gonna switch gears and now we're gonna talk about positive, inspiring stories. Stories that have compassion and love in them, and stories that have something that I think we can all relate to. And that's the hope for the show, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're not a news show, so why sit at a news desk? So we're out here today at a multi-million-dollar pad with a winery on the West Coast. The show is spanning all across the country. Today, you're gonna see a power interview from Grant Cardone. Did this in studio early this week. This guy illustrates the American Dream. 10,000 people at his event in Vegas. This guy's absolutely crushing it. We're also gonna showcase the lifestyle of a winery and a multi-million-dollar pad. And then we're gonna get into some local market elements where we're showing things that are happening in your own backyard. Well, let's get it started. We're gonna go check out that interview with Grant Cardone in studio. Let's go check it out. All right, for today's Power Player interview, there's nobody that better illustrates the American Dream than this guy, Grant Cardone, coming to us out of Miami. Good to see you, Grant. How are you, man?
Always good to see you, my friend. You bring me so much energy in my life. You remind me that a dream has to keep going and growing.
Yeah, well, we're growing to Miami soon, so what makes this show unique is we go city to city, and each city has its own little ecosystem, so we're coming to your town here soon enough, so we're going to be out in the field doing some stuff with you. Excited to launch there.
I can't wait to see you.
So let's talk about that thing called the American Dream. You've had quite the journey yourself. Right to your left there, you can see your new book, Investing in Real Estate. Tell us real quick about your journey for those who are tuning in for the first time.
Yeah, look, I mean, I grew up like probably 99% of the people watching this is like lower middle class family. My dad worked hard. My mom took care of the family, 5 kids. And my dad died at a very young age for me. He was 52, I was 10 years old. And that left a big vacuum in the family. But my dad left me with a lot of things, you know, like the individual can die, but the things he leaves behind stays with the people around him. And he taught me work ethic. He taught me that I could have anything I wanted. He loved real estate. He was actually a stockbroker, but on the weekends he would shop real estate, which was fascinating to me because I'm like, why aren't you shopping? I mean, if you love stocks and that's what you do, why aren't you shopping stocks? But he shopped real estate because I think that that's organically something everybody understands is a good thing. And so for the past 30 years, starting in San Diego, by the way, I started buying real estate. And it's, of my 7 businesses, that's the one that will take care of me and my great-great-great-grandchildren. My great-great-great-grandchildren that have not been born yet, Craig, will probably be wealthy.
Yeah, well, the stockbrokers out there, we got to remind them that there's no stock that you can live in, and there's no stock that you can use other people's money to buy it with, like you can with real estate. So it's a great opportunity. What do you think about the real estate market now? I mean, we're spread across the country. In every city, we align the power players of real estate. We've trademarked that term, the best in every city. What do you think about the real estate market right now?
Well, let me just say this. Bank of America, okay, or Wells Fargo, right? They will lend you money to buy real estate, and they won't lend you money to buy their own stock.
Right.
So that should say it all right there. Go to Bank of America and say, I'd like to buy $1 million worth of Bank of America stock, and I want you to lend me money. And they'll be like, sir, please get up out of the chair, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll lend you money on real estate. So look, if you're trying to make money in real estate over the next 3 weeks or 3 months, or, you know, I think you're looking at it wrong. But the way we invest in it is for long periods of time. We buy multifamily income producing properties. I mean, what we do over here is not, we don't do single family homes because we want income. I want passive flows of income that Warren Buffett talked about. If you don't earn passive flows of income, you'll die trying to earn one income. So we're buying rental properties in markets like Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, anything in the southwest or southeast. San Diego, I think, is a great market. I just can't come there because you guys got too many other issues.
Real quick, Grant, so tell me about the book that you wrote, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate.
Yeah, this is my 8th book, Craig. This is by the way, this is a self-published book, okay? I have published books, but this is a self-published book with the biggest release by almost 8 times of any book that I've ever brought to market. So we shipped, I think, 38,000 copies in 21 days.
Wow.
And it's not in a bookstore. Those are massive numbers for a book this doesn't have a release. So it's about how people can get involved in the apartment game.
Well, you've done a lot with the entrepreneurial spirit. You're doing events. You do a lot on social media. If anyone visits you online, you have a lot of products you develop. But I know that your wheelhouse is this real estate game, which is a big message of the show. I hope that our audience will reach out to you, get your book, and definitely follow you on Instagram. You are one of my favorite guys to follow just because the energy you bring, you got your own show on there.
Anything could happen on Instagram, that's for sure.
Yeah, your wife throws you head kicks, or actually it was rib kicks, was it?
Yeah. She wants me to get in shape, so she thinks beating me up is the way to do that.
Love it, man. Well, we appreciate your story. Thanks for coming on The American Dream. I hope our audience reaches out for that book, and we'll talk to you again soon, Grant. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Craig.
All right. More of the show coming up next.
So you just saw Grant Cardone, who is the ultimate illustration of the American dream. What makes this show unique is it's a national television show, but we highlight local marketplaces and the experts in those markets to show you what's going on in your own backyard. You've had your fingerprints all over how these things are going to look.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. You know, and local real estate markets are really important because that's why you need a broker. You know, these areas are so unique, both in appreciation, why you buy, the lifestyles that we like to accentuate on the show. And so we'd like to show you one of our favorite realtors right now.
Yeah, it's a national show. What do we know about all the different cities the show's airing in? So let's go check out what's happening in your city.
Welcome back to The American Dream. It is always great when we get to talk to Alex DiSaggio. He is in the top 1% there in Houston. He's with Citigroup Properties. Always great to see you, Alex.
Amy, it's always great to be here.
And we always have a fun conversation. I never know which direction it's going to go. So I want to ask you just right now, with the Houston market, is it better to be a buyer or a seller? What's your opinion right now?
You know, that's such an open-ended question. I think typically when you ask that question, it's, hey, it's better to be a buyer. Hey, it's better to be a seller. You know, in this market over here, it's a little bit of both. And here's the issue. The question is, what price point are you at? Because if you are over 300,000, for example, it is way better to be a buyer. The market has slowed down dramatically, and buyers are getting great deals over 300,000. However, if you go down to 200,000 and go just below 200,000, we have a shortage of homes big time in the city of Houston under 200,000. Wow. So it's kind of like the wild, wild west out there still. Even though we're getting into the slower seasons, it's really tough for buyers to find property. So in that case, it'd be great to be a seller. I think across the country, though, I think there's a similar situation going on with the lower priced homes. What do you think about that, Amy?
I think you're right. I think each area, it's so interesting as I get to talk to people across the country and we talk to all these great markets, but every area has its own niche of what's going on right now. And I think you've hit that head on, that really looking at where you're at in your own price point and, you know, what their goals are, you know, what neighborhood they're in, that you're able to give different advice depending on where they're at or what they're looking for.
Yeah, it seems like the floor of pricing across the country, but definitely in the city of Houston, is rising. So people that could afford the lower priced homes, they're almost being pushed out of the city right now. And I think that's happening in a lot of cities across the country. Home prices are getting, the bottom of home prices is really rising, and it's rising pretty quickly.
So how do you strategize then with your clients? You've got somebody coming to you, they're not quite sure where they fit in that. How do you strategize with somebody?
Well, the big thing is if they're looking at that lower price point, the first thing we want to do is make sure that we're honest with them up front and tell them what specifically is going on and what they're going to have to be prepared for. And the answer is, hey, if you can find a good house, put a good offer in, maybe even over ask price, and let's get it off the market. Now, on the other end of the coin, if they're in the higher price point, I have sellers that are in the higher price points, and all of them, I'm letting them know, hey, listen, we're looking for the right buyers, but there's not a lot of them out there right now. And so those buyers are actually getting great deals. So again, it really just depends on what side of the coin that we're in.
And thankfully, that's why I know that you work so well with clients on both ends of those spectrums, so you really are able to advise. You don't just specialize in one. I know you have probably like 60 listings right now in all different price points that you could help clients know which direction they could go, and you're always such a great expert for everybody there. Thank you so much for coming on to give some more great advice today.
Amy, it's always great to be here. Thanks for having me. God bless you. I'll see you later.
Take care, Alex. Bye-bye. We'll be right back with more of The American Dream.
What we just saw was an incredible segment from a local agent professional. But what's cool right now is we're about to kick to a really cool segment in this property.
Yeah, I've hosted so many shoots so far for Lifestyles in the American Dream, but I've never seen a home like this before.
Isn't this the most amazing property you've ever seen?
I loved it, and driving up like the whole entire private driveway and up here, it's so exclusive.
It's, it's set perfectly in the hillside, the winding roads, and it's like, I think about properties like this back when I first started in real estate, when it was so hard to get the big listings and the big properties with this much acreage. And it's really been a dream for me to not only list this property, but to get so much great feedback from people just viewing the property, because it's amazing. I mean, it's the grounds of this place are like nothing I've ever seen before.
That's what I saw the home. I'm obsessed with the home. I mean, it's this beautiful custom built.
Custom built in 2008, actually.
Oh, wow, that's really new.
Isn't it? It's so new.
Yeah.
The sellers actually built it from the ground up. I mean, so much like blood, sweat, and tears went into this home. It looks like it could be placed right in Tuscany, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
like
perfect
Spanish
with the wine we had earlier.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to tell people we're having wine this early in the day?
No. 5 o'clock somewhere all the time, so.
Well, I love it, and I love the outside grounds of this area. Like, I don't even know if I would want to be inside.
When you live at the property, your lifestyle here is exterior. It's all exterior. The inside is an added bonus, but I mean, you've got so many different types of fruit trees on this property. You've got a winery that's just down the hill here and surrounds the property, a creek, a pond. I mean, the endless nights of sunsets that you can watch on this property is ridiculous.
Oh, it's amazing. I can imagine that this is like the perfect property for entertaining guests, family get-togethers, things like, I mean, that's like what I imagine when I picture myself living here.
It's kind of the dream. I mean, I was fortunate enough to be able to spend a lot of time with the sellers on this property and really talk to them about what makes this property so special, aside from the custom build. I mean, the wildlife that they sit and watch. The wife, tends to her garden out back. I mean, with tons and tons of acreage on this property, your options to do multiple things on the actual land is endless. I mean, you really could do anything.
Yeah.
There's an active beehive down there where the bees come and go from the koi pond out front. You've got the pool out back that just the vanishing edge with virtually nothing in the distance.
No. And it's a really nice mixture between like the backyard's totally done. It's, the backyard, the kitchen outside, the vanishing edge pool. So it seems like it could be track style home and things like that, but it's not, because then it's like you have a whole entire another realm of this. Like, this is an onion of a house. It has multiple layers.
You just get peel back the layers, but you're 100% right. It's like an onion, really.
Yes.
You know, and you can always tell with houses like this, which is why this particular home is so near and dear to my heart, because you can tell the pride in ownership that the sellers have really put into this house with just maintaining and the landscaping that they've put in, and every little nook and cranny of this home and this property was thought of. I mean, they have dogs and they've fenced the entire 9 acres of property in, you know, and it's just the little things that when a buyer comes into this home, they want to know that everything's secure and that their pets are going to be okay.
Yes.
And if they have grandchildren coming to run around, that it's going to all be okay. So everything was really, really thought of. I mean, it's definitely a special property.
Yes.
You know?
Well, and I'm just imagining, you know, the caliber of buyer that's going to buy this property is going to love that they can come and shut themselves off from the hustle and the bustle and the busy life that we all live each day, and have their own private oasis, their own private estate here in the hills of California. It's wonderful.
It's the most peaceful property you could ever imagine. It's like you're coming home and you're coming up to your own resort with nobody around, with the sunset, and you put the music on and you just go pick fruit off your fruit trees to make a margarita by the pool. I mean, it's everything at your fingertips, literally, but you're in the middle of nowhere, which is amazing.
In the middle of nowhere, so convenient because you are still close to town. Still get there somewhat fast, but
right.
Shut everything off. Enjoy your time with your family.
Yes, and I will say, if you are a drinker, the winery and the vineyard on this property produces over 2,000 pounds of wine, which is about 50 cases per year.
Oh my gosh.
Of award-winning wine. And
do you have any of that award-winning wine here?
We do. I think we should go open a bottle and go back by the pool and have a little sip of wine.
I'm saying, it's warm out here. Let's go get some wine. Let's go enjoy the pool.
There's so many people that have dreamed of owning a California winery
Or with Molly and Mia.
in a winery,
In a winery.
with 3 vineyards and bottles of wine.
Yes, that is kind of your American dream.
It's a very specific American dream, but yeah, it was cool to actually see it, and I think it was great that we got to take people inside.
All right, so coming up next, what you don't know is I've been traveling all across the country, meeting the best realtors in every city to make sure when we talk about your backyard, you're hearing from someone who's actually in the trenches in the top 1% nationally, but experiencing what you have going on in your city. Next realtor piece.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Hey, it's Wendy Cline with Wendy Cline Properties. I'm here this week with my good friend and my neighbor and fellow Waller County Fair sponsor and Fair President, Dustin Standley.
Hi.
I'm glad you could make it today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the fair.
Good deal. Let's shoot.
Okay, well, tell us the dates.
The fair this year is from September 28th through October 6th at the Waller County Fairgrounds. We have a big fair coming up this year. We got a lot of good sponsors coming out to support our fair. We've got a youth rodeo. We have a Barnyard Buddies for our special needs day. We have a PRCA rodeo, and we have some great entertainers this year.
Tell me about some of the entertainers.
This year we're bringing Steve Warner in, an old-time country singer. Everybody loves him, likes to come out and dance to the old-time music. We got Glenn Templeton coming out this year. We've got a few other artists. They're just going to be a real good show this year.
It's always a lot of fun to come to the fair. There's always good food. We have a lot of vendors out there, so if you want a funnel cake or something fried on a stick or grilled on a stick, for those of us who like to watch our weight, come on out. The students actually start checking in, and you'll be able to watch them show their projects that they work so hard every year to raise and to bring to the fair. So what are some of the projects we're going to see?
This year, you know, the kids will start moving in on Tuesday, and we're going to have from turkeys to chickens to swine to horses, rabbits, goats, sheep, heifers, steers, all those come in, and our auction's going to be on the final Saturday, which will be October 6th, and we hope to have a good auction for the kids and raise a bunch of money for scholarships.
There's also a fun area that kids can compete in creative living. Can you tell us a little bit about what they do for that?
Yeah, so creative living's where mom gets to work with the kids, dad gets to work with the kids, and we get out in the barn, and myself and my son get out in the barn, and we take old wood pallets or old furnishings or something out there, and we build something that's been repurposed or redesigned to give a nice home, something different that they don't have, and all the kids get to compete against each other. So they have anything from cakes to food to crafts to pictures. I mean, it's just a big variety of stuff in the creative living.
it is a good time to go through that creative living building. My family this last year, we contributed a cake, and it was really fun to do. We're going to, Addison's going to be doing that again this year, so we have a good time doing that and compete for grand champion in that. Our boys actually compete in another thing this year. Your son actually gave my son the inspiration to do the turkey project this year.
Yes, well, that's what neighbors do. We've learned the turkeys, and y'all have helped us, and we've helped y'all, and we both competed in the creative living last year and had a grand champion and reserve champion and next door neighbors, so that was really fun.
Yep.
So look forward. The boys are learning together and working with their parents, and that's what it's all about. That's what our fair is about. So.
Yes, the Waller County Fair, again, the dates are?
September 28th through October 6th. Auction being on October 6th. So y'all come on out to the auction, support the kids. All the money goes towards scholarships. Scholarships this past year was a little over 20 scholarships we gave out. We gave out to the tune of $84,000 to all our kids. That's our main purpose. That's our goal. That's what we go to work for every day. So our fair is one of 7 in the state of Texas. It's owned by us, the board of directors, and we have no county or no government support. So everything we do is right there to bring our money in for our kids, and we've grown by leaps and bounds over the last couple of years.
So we talked about support. The ways that you, the public, can get out and support the Waller County Fair is, one, get out there and come to the fair and support the fair by walking around and enjoying purchasing things from the vendors and seeing the students and really giving them encouragement. You can also sponsor any portion that you'd like to do. So there are opportunities to sponsor things like belt buckles or events at the fair. So if you'd like to get sponsorship information, your phone number is?
You can call us at the office at 979-826-2825 or check us out at wallercountyfair.org. We appreciate sponsors. Wendy's one of our big, long-time sponsors, and we appreciate all her support. And she'll be out there this year watching the girls in the barrel race. That's what she likes to do. So that's her area she sponsors.
Yep, we look forward to seeing everybody there. Again, if you'd like to visit us online, it's wallercountyfair.org.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's time to come and sponsor. There's time to come and have something good to eat and to watch these even professional athletes like the PRCA rodeo, as well as the children compete. So, and that sale will be also October the 6th. And please feel free to join us for that. We look forward to having y'all out there. Come out and see us at Waller County Fair.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the American Dream. It is always great when we get to talk to E.L. Craine. He is the Vice President of Business Development of Paradigm Title, also the Chairman of BROAC. And today he has brought us a special guest. We have Wren Shumate. She is with the Matt Guzman team with RE/MAX. So great to meet you both. Karen, it's great to meet you. Always great to see you, E.L.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you. I'm excited to find out about the Matt Guzman team. Why don't you tell us about the team?
Okay, the Matt Guzman team specializes in working with builders and selling their properties as quickly as possible and bringing in them buyers.
So tell us a little bit then, you guys doing that, you bring a lot of value by working with builders. Why don't you dive in a little deeper at what value you guys do bring in?
Well, with the Matthew Guzman team, we have about 12 people on our team. That includes our own staff. We have in-house photographer. We use the Matterport 3D virtual tour camera. That brings a lot of value, especially to builders, when you can actually walk through a product and actually see what that product has in that particular home.
So E.L., I know you guys partner with this team. Why don't you explain from a perspective of working with Paradigm Title and also all of the great other things that you do in Houston to be a business partner, how this is so important and why you partner with this team?
Well, we partner with this team because of the marketing aspect and the outreach for builders. The Builder Realtor Outreach Advisory Council, our forte is reaching out to builders and work with teams who are trying to increase their builder business along with their outreach and their branding in the marketplace for additional builders. So, and we partner with Matt and Karen. I've known Karen for a few years now, and she loves me in spite of myself.
We all do.
Because it's all about marketing and creating opportunities for each other. And that's why it works so well together between Paradigm, the Matt Guzman team of RE/MAX Universal, and Karen Shumate specifically. Because when you have a team that is basically hand in hand, partnering and working and pulling in the same direction, we can get that builder inventory liquidated in a really fast fashion.
What are some of the benefits that you've firsthand seen happen with this partnership?
Well, it's the growth part of it. I met with the team last week, and we actually mapped out a process and a program to expand their opportunities in the marketplace, get greater exposure for the listings with builders they already have, but also producing builder opportunities via the platform that we put in place. So because they have all the in-house action going on between the photographer, transaction coordinator, and all the sales personnel, we can actually deliver a product to the builder where the builder is just like plug and play. That's why we partner with them, because they are a plug and play operation just like we are.
And Karen, do you love being partnered and working with the team as well and seeing the benefit that you're adding to all of your clients?
I do. I've been with the team for about a year. I just had my anniversary in August. I love the support. I love the camaraderie and the family aspect of being part of this team.
Well, I think it's great. Yeah, I can tell that you guys have a great partnership, and Houston's real lucky to have you guys as a resource. I think it's awesome. Thank you both for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more of The American Dream.
So that's close the show. What should we do, man? Should we be like casual or should we be like pumped up?
I think we should be both casual and pumped up.
All right. Well, we just finished the big show. What you learned today is the American Dream is a mindset, not a circumstance. And as far as our show, it's raw, it's real, it's authentic. We're not owned by a network. We're commercial free. We're unscripted. We just brought the best producer in the space to the game.
I think we did great, man. I mean, you know, the American Dream is incredible, and I think it was Thomas Jefferson or who was talking about.